Hello everybody, this is my 5th review of films to come out in 2025. Today I'm talking about Heart Eyes. It's a slasher movie directed by Josh Rubin, a director I'm unfamiliar with, I guess until now. Would I recommend seeing Heart Eyes? Yeah, I actually really enjoyed this. I wasn't really expecting that. Usually with slasher films, I'm sitting there waiting for the kills and exciting horror sequences and bored for the rest of the film. Usually whatever drama or romance exists outside the horror plot feels like filler to me, but in this movie, that was actually the stuff I preferred. I actually liked the romantic comedy aspects of the film more than the slasher elements. If you're here just for the slasher elements, you'll still be satisfied though, because there's fun kills and gores and some tense and exciting sequences. It's nothing that crazy, and they don't spend that much time focusing on the kills or dwelling on them, but it gives slasher fans everything we need to be satisfied. And then the romantic comedy element of the film is the part that unexpectedly was really fun for me. And I think that has to do mostly with the leads, Olivia Holt and Mason Gooding. They're very funny, and I think they handle this material really well. Screenplay-wise, it really isn't that special in a lot of ways. A lot of horror and romance movie tropes are present here, but the one aspect of the writing that I really loved is that this is not just a romantic comedy. This is a modern screwball comedy. If you don't know what a screwball comedy is, it's a subgenre of rom-coms, popular around the 1940s, and they're usually about two people who bicker like the entire movie and then don't usually get together until the end, maybe. They're usually more absurd than most rom-coms, usually have a female protagonist, are a bit more focused on like the arguing and the comedy elements, and big misunderstandings. One of the most famous films in the genre is a movie called His Girl Friday, which actually appears in Hard Eyes multiple times. I love the idea of combining a slasher like Scream and a screwball comedy like His Girl Friday. It's just a fun idea for a film, and in execution it worked really well. The dynamic between the two actors is great, it's funny, it's very watchable, it kept the movie from being boring. The directing in general felt very self-aware, and the performances feel like they understood the type of over-the-top movie they're in. It wasn't a horror parody or anything, and it does a lot of rom-com tropes and horror tropes unironically without subverting much, but it helped that it always felt like it knew what it was and had a sense of humor about it. The presentation of this new slasher character, the Hard Eyes Killer, didn't feel like it was trying to insist like a new franchise or anything. Perhaps if it does well, it'll get a sequel, but it doesn't really feel like that was the goal of the film. At the most, the only cynical part of the presentation was maybe they were trying to sell a Halloween costume or two with like a cool looking slasher, but I mean, in general, it doesn't feel like a super cynical or like ad-centric movie. My main criticism of the film is actually the ending. It was kind of sloppy, it feels very typical for this type of like Scream-like movie. It doesn't suck, it works overall, but there are definitely some dumb plot beats, especially near the end. There's also many moments throughout the film where the characters don't make logical decisions when in danger. Like, in my brain, multiple times I was thinking to myself, okay, run, run. Like, that classic horror movie thing where you're just screaming at the characters to be smarter and like get out of the situation. There are definitely a few scenes that are very typical of rom-coms or horror films where I wish they did a little bit something more with it. Like, there's a scene where there's like a montage of the main character trying out new clothes to decide what she wants to buy for a date. Just a very typical like rom-com scene, and I wish there was a little something subverting it, because most of the tropes in the movie feel like they have a little something special to make it stand out. But sometimes it didn't. Sometimes it would just do a cliche plot beat, and those were the weaker scenes of the movie, in my opinion. I would give Heart Eyes a 3.5 stars out of 5. I really enjoyed this. It was campy, it was unserious in a fun way. So this is the 5th review I've done this week. I started on Sunday. From now on, we're going to do Monday through Thursday. So my next review will be on Monday, and it will be of The Monkey, which I just saw. So subscribe to stay tuned for that. In the description, I will put a link to my Letterboxd list of all the movies I've seen this year. Here's the ranking so far. There should also be a link to the YouTube playlist of all my reviews of these films. You can also find that on my channel page and right here on the side of your screen. So thank you for watching. All comments and ratings are very much appreciated. And that's all I have to say. See ya.